Hi, it's me again, Andy Partington, Commodore of Paley Island Sailing Club. Well, the last one of these seemed to go pretty well and people enjoyed the updates, so here we go again. Another quick update. Lots of questions coming in, and I won't try to answer all of those today, just give you some of the sort of the key things that have come out of recent developments and give you a bit of an update on the sort of current activities that are going on in the club, because we very much have we still have a club. It's still functioning as well as we possibly can, and lots of things going on in the background that and I'll update you on some of those. So we'll come to that in a minute, but last time people seemed to enjoy the stories from the wall. Just remind you again of all the photos on my wall, keeping me constantly reminded about the fun times we have at Hayling Island when we are going sailing. But just a little spoiler for today's story. There's something in it for you fireball sailors. Anyway, we'll come back to that later. But let me give you an update. So we had a general committee meeting at the weekend, and we're continuing to have we're daily task force meetings, half an hour meetings of the task force that's sort of planning all the activity at the moment. We've moved those to being sort of 3 times a week at the moment, but just so you know, there's a lot going on in the background to keep everything going. I guess the key bits of information I wanted you to know about was the some of our staff are working, our crew are working as much as possible off site. Leah's working actively on replanning the sailing program. You will see the communications coming from Nikki. So there's a number of key staff still working. So a lot of the rest of the team are on the government furlough scheme, which allows us to get government support in terms of paying their wages during the close down. So we've taken the immediate steps of furloughing a lot of the staff. And we are checking the site on a regular basis, and we've done all we can to secure that safely and securely during the lockdown. So a lot of those things going on in the background. I guess what I really wanted to talk about was the sort of the overall financial picture for the club, and this was something that was discussed at length at the general committee meeting at the weekend, which was an online meeting using Zoom, which I think a lot of us have become familiar with over the last few weeks. But the meeting went well. We had a good session, and I suppose what I wanted to really give you a good insight into is, if you look at the way our club finances work at the moment, we have effectively 3 key lines of revenue. One is the subscription income that you as members pay, some of that early on in the year, some of it by direct debit as the year goes on. So that's one key bucket of revenue, if you like. The other is from the sailing activity, so all the sailing events we put on, hire boats, all income relating to sailing, if you like. And then the third main bucket is the house revenue, so all the revenue from the restaurant, the bar, and all the social activities that happen at the club. So let's be perfectly blunt about this. 2 of those 3 sources of revenue have now stopped. There is no revenue on the bar and catering side. There is no revenue coming in on the sailing side. Really, the only source of income we have is the ongoing subscription revenue, and that's one element that I wanted to talk to you about. So, we are planning to restart the season as soon as we can, and the activity is going on to look at that. We're already looking at moving key events like the Whitsun Trophy, looking to move that to the bank holiday in August. But obviously there's a lot of uncertainty there, and we don't know what's going to happen. And I suppose being very open about it is, if we take advantage, which we are doing, of all the various government schemes that are available to support businesses, and if the sailing activity and the club activity can restart at some point in the summer, we are resilient. We can weather this storm. But if this situation persists and we lose the whole of the season, for example, in terms of being able to open the club up, then that has a very serious impact upon us as a club. And we are looking at all of those scenarios and trying to replan and reforecast as best we can in these uncertain times, and looking at those two, almost two extreme or number of different scenarios we're looking at. But I suppose the most important message for you, the membership, is if you want Haley Island Sailing Club to come back strong, if you want it to ride out this storm as in a most resilient way possible, if your relationship with this with the club is more than just a financial transaction for which you're getting a service for each month, which I believe it is for most people, then it's very important that you continue to support the club and continue paying your direct debit. Now, we've had questions from people in difficulties, and we will deal with those individually. But for all of you out there that are, if you're not impacted financially by the crisis, it's very important we have your continued support and you keep paying your direct debits as you normally would do if you want your club to come back strong. And I think we all want that. So sorry that's a bit of a hard-hitting message, but it's an important thing to get across, and I'm sure we can rely on most people's support on that, and I hope you appreciate us being very, very open about that. What I would say is a few highlights. We still have people wanting to join the club at the moment. We still have applications for new members. People want to be part of Haley Island Sailing Club, and I think that's a very positive piece of news to be able to report even in these difficult times. So I think that was really the the key message I wanted to get across today. Lots of questions coming in, and we will do more of these and keep you updated on those frequently asked questions. But rest assured, we still have a very, very active sailing club behind the scenes going on, plotting and planning for the restart, and trying to make that as spectacular as we can, given the circumstances we find ourselves in. So that's sort of the official message for today, if you like. How about back to the wall? What's the story from the wall today? Well, the good news is I've had a few emails with people worried about what story I'm going to tell. But I'm going to be discreet and keep this a family wholesome thing. And I hope you can enjoy today's story. It's about my family and their boats, and hopefully it might be interesting to you. So this is our family elite. This is a boat called Lazy Daisy. It's been sailed there by Karen, my wife, myself, and Gareth Edwards, who's Karen's cousin, and we have a lot of fun sailing that boat, and some great times in that boat, and looking forward to getting back out in her later in the season. But Lazy Daisy has a secret. She's not the real Lazy Daisy. She's an imposter. So, who is the real Lazy Daisy? Well, here we go. So this boat here, this is the real Lazy Daisy, Fireball 2314, and that young person there with the very stylish trapeze technique, well, yeah, that is me. But let me give you the story. So that Fireball 2314 was owned by Gareth. So Gareth, our elite partner in our elite, his father, Stuart Edwards, owned Lazy Daisy, and I sailed with Stuart quite a lot when I was a teenager, and really he was responsible for getting me into racing, and ultimately I wouldn't have met Karen, my wife, if I hadn't have met Stuart and started sailing Fireball Lazy Daisy with him. So Lazy Daisy, the original one, is probably the most important boat in my life, and I thought I'd just share that little story with you. And so when Gareth and myself and Karen started sailing the Elite together, we thought it would be a fitting tribute to name that boat after the original Lazy Daisy. So that's the Fireball. So that's the story for today. I hope you enjoyed this update. we'll come back with more and try and answer some of your other questions about the club as soon as we can. But thanks for listening, and hopefully see you soon. Bye.